So Nick, like, how did you get back to who you are after all that? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's been a long process, but like, where did you feel like it broke? And then like, what was the first step in realizing that you needed to reconnect with the person that you used to be, with, you know, people, and developing that healthy relationship with, you know, the actual world again?
So I'm gonna I know what you're trying to say, but I'm gonna correct you on one thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
There is no going back to the person that you were.
Right.
That like, because now you're talking about an 18-year-old. Like there's no going back and like becoming you again. Where I think that's where people kind of get like mentally, they get hung up. It's not about becoming who you were or becoming me again. It's becoming you and a different version of you, a version 2.0 or 3.0 of you.
Right.
You know, that's almost more scarier, because that's like, oh, I have to create this whole new person
with all this trauma. You're starting behind the 8 ball. You're like, I have to create out of this crumbled piece of human. Like, I just can't reflect what you said enough. Like, you feel differently about humans when you get back from that first deployment or whatever. You feel differently about the humans around you and humanity in general. And to try to build something out of those broken pieces, like that's unreal. It's a Herculean task.
So you don't know that you're broken, first of all. Typically, you just don't know that there's something wrong. Well, you know there's something's, you know you're unhappy, but you don't know that there's actually you're the problem. Most of the time, everybody else is the problem. They're like, oh, my life sucks. My wife and kids suck. My job sucks. No, dude, I hate to break it to you, Holmes, but you're the one that sucks. So the issue becomes this. And if you want to talk specifically in special operations, the issue is this. What you do, and this is never a good idea, because you should never attach what you do to who you are. But what you do in that job is also who you are. It's the neighborhood that you live in. It is the schools that your kids go to. It is where you hang out. It is the clothes that you wear, down to your shoes, down to your belt, down to your t-shirts, your hairstyle. It is the things that you consume, the drink that you consume, the television that you consume. I mean, it is who you are. And we get told you're this thing for life, especially in the Marine Corps. There's never
always a Marine,
never a former Marine, right? You're once a Marine, always a Marine. And then they have this thing in MARSOC where you're like, MARSOC for life. Hate to break it to you. It's all a lie. When the door shuts, and you are on your own. And I think that's the biggest thing is what happens is, guys, you remove all the trauma, remove post-traumatic stress, remove trauma, remove experiences, remove all this, you know, the traumatic brain injuries, physical injuries, whatever it is, remove that. And you take it all the way down to just a dude that has nothing really wrong with him. He goes through an identity crisis. This is literally no difference than the kid who's been playing pee-wee football, played middle school football, or elementary, middle school, high school, college, went to the NFL, blows his knee out at 23. All that kid knows is football. And they go, you're never going to play football again. What do you think that guy's going to do?
Just spiral most of the time.
Just
bottle,
spiral.
Drugs, women, go right down the hole, depression. Yep. Why? Nothing really happened to him other than an injury, but he doesn't know who he is. If he can't play football,
you took away his purpose. Yeah. You took away his purpose.
Right. It's his purpose. If I'm a Marine Raider, but all of a sudden I'm not anymore, I'm not a recon Marine, I'm not a Marine Raider, then who the fuck is Nick? Don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do? What do I do with my time? I don't know. And then now you compound all the other issues, right? Maybe you do have a traumatic brain injury. Maybe you are dealing with low testosterone. Your endocrine system is shot. Your pituitary gland is shot, right? You're depressed. Yep. Now you put in depression. Now you have, you know, you're having physical issues and you're starting to gain weight and you're not living by all the things that you were doing before. You don't have a mission. You don't have a fucking mission. So we self-sabotage.
And you also have civilians, everybody that finds out what you did in the military, all those expectations are still there for you to be a certain kind of person while you're trying to rediscover who you actually are. And they find out you were a MARSOC dude or Force Recon guy, and they're like, oh, like you must be fantastic at everything. Nothing affects you. And you're like, I don't know.
Meanwhile, I'm over here crying. I'm like crying myself to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, the last thing I want to do is talk about this. And it's all anybody ever wants to talk about. People, I ran into a good friend this week and he was like, oh man, back when we were really young PJs, you used to tell people you just work for like a phone company. Like, yeah, because I don't want to have to talk about being a PJ for 6 hours when I'm just trying to chill out at the bar, man. Like, can we just take a break? Can we just take a couple seconds?